There's something about the mom, the love, the tenderness, even that connection
They're
that
so
the mom
connected,
has.
yeah.
Yeah, as soon as the baby's born, where that's designed for a woman.
Time is very limited, but if a woman can understand your time and adjust to your timing and all that stuff and make this work, it's a great relationship, right? But the moment it's like, oh, well, you're always here, you're there, and she's throwing it at your face, that's what I mean by she's making your life harder rather than easy.
And the women don't like when we say this. Like, what value are you bringing to my life other than a lot of women, well, I could cook, I can learn to cook. Well, fuck all that. I could fucking hire me a chef. I make $500,000 a year.
Right.
I could hire me. What else can you bring to my life? Are you gonna bring me fucking peace? You get what I'm saying?
Peace,
Are you gonna bring me fucking
respect.
peace, respect, and all these things that I require?
Kids.
You know what I'm saying? Children, all these things that I require?
When a man could actually be a man, which I feel like in order for you to lead as a man, you got to have some type of foundation, right? Morals, values, spiritual especially. A man follows God. You're following God's basically wisdom. You're following his rules, which gives you the authority to lead your woman and lead your family. What it do?
You want to start it off?
Welcome to MarVic Production, episode 20. We've done it, guys. Double digits here, 2-0.
2-0.
2-0, baby. We're still, running strong, and we're gonna keep going and dropping some valuable gems for you guys. Thanks
Till we get canceled.
Till we get
someone
canceled, pretty
cancels us
much.
and reports us, and we lose all the millions of dollars that we're making.
Yeah, but thanks for everybody that's been subscribing, liking our videos, and commenting as well. We definitely appreciate that, and we love to hear back from you guys. Get your guys' opinion and perspective on things, and that helps us kind of figure out more topics to talk about, guys. So, if you guys see this episode, like it, make sure to comment, and let us hear from you guys as well, so we could definitely, interact with you guys and go from there.
Yeah, thank you to everybody that, like he said, has been watching our stuff, and I'm still shocked and surprised every time I hear that someone watched a full podcast of ours.
Right.
I was talking to Yadeth like last week, and she was tripped out. She was weirded out that one of her friends watched her full podcast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's just cool. It's cool that, we're doing this, and we feel like we're nobodies because we kind of are, and but we're talking whatever, we're talking our shit, we're sharing our perspective. So whoever's watching, whatever episode, thank you. We hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully learned something. We're not trying to just talk to talk. Like today we have the homies on, and it's gonna be an all male cast, and we'll talk about some man shit and all that. But our intention is to at least share something valuable,
right?
Whether it's one piece,
Definitely.
2 piece, whatever. So,
and on that note, man, I want to steal something from one of somebody I listened to, Andy Frisella, where if you guys listen to Andy, you guys know that he runs no ads on his podcast, and the reason for that is because he wants to keep everything organic and original, not be paid by a company to tell him what to say or what to talk about, right? So just so you guys know, MarVic Productions is something that we fund. Nobody funds for us, so therefore we speak our mind and we say whatever we want to say, guys. So just want you guys to know that everything we talk about is literally on the spot, on the topic, on that.
but for the right price, I will censor myself. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, man, let's get the show started, man. Today we got our boy Jamaican Queens right here, Clifton, Henry.
That's in New York, bro.
New York,
Like
New
you're
York
offending me
Queens,
already.
Jamaican.
I'm from Jamaica.
No,
bro.
he's
Oh,
Jamaican,
the actual
but Jamaican Queen.
Jamaica.
Oh yeah, that's
Actual Jamaican.
that's
That's where
New York,
50's
right?
from.
Yeah, that's where 50's from.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We'll cut that
Come
part
on,
out.
man. I'm trying to give you get rich or die trying
I
shit right
I
here.
got you.
We got our boy Brian Lizama, Mr. South Bay himself,
Yes,
Fit
sir.
Boss Dad.
Yes, sir. I'm in the building.
Hey,
Flex
hit
that
him with
muscle. There
hit
you
him
go.
with the follow through real quick with the Celt Bay. There it is.
Yeah. And today we're going to bring you guys an episode of just male's perspective and talk about male things, and hopefully you guys are able to get something from it.
Male things.
Male tings, baby.
Male things.
Games and tangs.
Yeah.
Some advice.
Well, to start it off, I'll start us off here. Our previous podcast, we just had Brian on, episode 19. If you haven't seen that, definitely give it a whirl there. He talks about Salt, his journey, et cetera, et cetera. And in the end, we talk about being conservative, just traditional male roles, and how we look for, women to be, in their feminine energy and, act more like women in the traditional view. So maybe we can continue that, conversation and see where that takes us. But Cliff, if you don't mind, we'll start with you since we kind of all shared a little bit. But
with me.
Okay. Yeah, what are your thoughts on, I mean, in today's world, we're in May 2024, like from what you're seeing of women, not all women, but generally speaking, like the rise of feminism, the rise of, women just taking on more of a role that looks like a man's role. And, what are your thoughts on all that? And, how does that make you feel as a man out here, still on the market and doing your thing? Like, what's your perspective?
Good question. I'll keep it simple and I'll keep it 100, man. I personally don't like it because I think it's destroying the family. It's destroying a lot of relationships.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think modern day feminism is retarded. You know what I'm saying? Because the reason why I say that, and no disrespect to the women out there that think modern day feminism is about women's rights and equality and stuff like that, because let's really look at it. What rights right now does men have that women don't have? None. Matter of fact, I would say they have more. So I feel like right now modern day feminism is, as mentioned before, is really just trying to destroy the family and just bring in things that kind of like to separate the masculine energy, you know what I'm saying, from the home, because we understand that we all notice the masculine energy, the men in the home is the one that guides and leads and so on and so forth. So the more the separation, I think, for lack of a better word, all these different companies and entities can infiltrate the family, and provide propaganda and all this other stuff. So I personally don't like it. I think there's more to it than just men and women just wanting to be feminine and, you know what I'm saying, or masculine. I think it's really that, they're destroying the family for a reason. You know what I'm saying? There's an agenda behind it.
When you say they, who are you referring to?
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything too crazy and get shut up, you know what I mean? And then they say it's because of gang violence because I got the do-rag on, it might be something else. But I'm talking about, the people,
the higher ups,
because they understand that, that.
Do you feel it's an attempt to just for the men not to be able to protect the family type of thing, where they're just like more female? Like what do you think is the agenda behind it?
You said say that question one
because
more time.
back in the days, let me rephrase myself. Back in the days, it was like an honor, right? The male was the provider and the protector, right? You would go to war, and it was like an honor to defend your country, protect the cubs, I guess you could say. And today we don't see that more often. We're seeing more of the females trying to play that role. So my question to you is, what do you feel the agenda behind it is?
Well, there is an agenda, of course, but I feel like the cause of that is because life is just a lot easier now. You know what I'm saying? Like, war is not remember World War II is different. Like, niggas was getting drafted, niggas was leaving, all kind of stuff. Motherfuckers was actually scared. You know what I'm saying? Women were actually terrified. Right now, they're not terrified. There's no wars. I wouldn't say there's peace because there's a lot of shit going on in the world, but it's not as crazy as it was then, right? So women have the ability to just, you know what I'm saying, go out there and work, make their own money, do what the fuck they want to do. You know what I'm saying? Without any consequences or repercussions.
It's a very comfortable society.
Yeah, it's very comfortable. It's hella easy. So they can do exactly what we can do as far as go out there and make money. So in their mind, and also because of, the push of feminism, they don't need a man. You know
do you feel like it was a privilege back then because of the whole war things, to be able to cater to as a female to their man, because there was wars, people were getting drafted. Chances is you probably weren't ever seeing them again. What do you guys feel about that?
Privilege, I wouldn't say I'll use that word, but I would say that I think it's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? Because, having a feminine woman taking care of the home, taking care of the children, I think that's what most men would want, right? I'm not saying that we don't want our women to have an opinion. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not asking for a slave. But a woman that's actually really in her feminine energy, that's hella attractive for a man. That's what every man would want, in my opinion, right? Like, we're not asking you to be a slave. We're not asking you to not say shit or not have an opinion or just to, you know what I'm saying, lead without, not lead, follow without any true direction, right? We're asking you, hey, yo, be a woman, because that's what we're attracted to. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, women are supposed to nurture and basically create that peace.
Yeah, provide that softness. You know what I'm saying?
Or make us see another angle that maybe we don't see.
Right.
What is that? What does that feminine energy look like to you guys? Like, what is it in your world? Like, how would you describe? Because you said, for example, and I agree with your statement of like a woman when she's in her feminine energy is really attractive for a certain type of man, right? What does it look like for you, gentlemen? Like, what does your shorty have to be like that's gonna, make you the best version of the male?
I'll let you go first, and then
I'll jump into it because for me that's something that I'm 32 now. So previously, like growing up, I think we're all a little ignorant to it. Well, I don't know about everybody, but for me, I was. I really didn't think about the whole masculine, feminine, and a woman working and not working. So initially, I didn't know, but as I went through my 20s and my even long-term relationship, I realized like, okay, yeah, I don't want that. I don't want a woman that's focused on working. I don't want a woman that's like trying to be the independent boss, trying to control everything. Why? Because you can't have, how many presidents are there in the country?
Just one.
There's one, right? How
Competition,
many?
baby.
I thought you were talking about in the past.
No. I mean,
they're all men.
I mean, in general, like, and it's not about being a man, but in anything, there's always has to be a hierarchy, right? There's always supposed to be one main leader, right? Gotcha. Because if two people are at the same level, then they're always going to be going back and forth, And so it's a competition, exactly. Yeah. But when a man could actually be a man, which I feel like in order for you to lead as a man, you got to have some type of foundation, right? Morals, values, spiritual especially, because a man follows God. You're following God's basically wisdom. You're following his rules, which gives you the authority to lead your woman and lead your family. If you're lost, if you don't have any type of
lead,
you can't lead.
Right.
Exactly. But if you actually have a point of reference like God, Bible, a certain type of way of morals and values that you're actually wanting to instill into your children, into your woman, then that's where you have the opportunity to actually lead as a man. So as far as feminine energy, what does that quote unquote mean? Is basically a woman that is more, and this goes back to what he was talking about as far as like, 1930s, 1920s. Like, let's think about this. For the majority of human existence, most women didn't have to work. Most women would be the home takers, the caretakers. Now, did they do stuff? Probably, right? Like my great-grandma, she used to sew dresses and sell them, right? My grandma used to make cheese and sell it, right? But where was she doing it? At the house, exactly. Why? Because you have the kids at home. You have the cleaning to do. You have a lot of things. You have the cooking to do, right? Those are important, very, very important things that I feel like today's society tries to downplay that. They say, oh, you're worth more than just being a homemaker.
Right.
But they don't realize that being a homemaker, being a mom, being a wife is one of the most valuable things that you can be.
The most attractive thing.
And the most attractive, exactly. So what is attractive as far as femininity? A woman that actually is willing to stay home. A woman that is actually willing to have faith in you as a man that you're going to provide for her, believes in you as a man that you can provide for her, and that you're going to be there loyal for her, taking care of her needs financially or, in the other ways as well, not just financial, right? But of course the love, the attention and the specialness of a loving relationship, right? Where she can be comfortable enough to say, you know what? Okay, cool. I'm going to stay home. I'm actually make this house where he comes home. It's amazing.
It's peaceful.
Clean. It's peaceful. There's food ready. And it's like she's not cooking for you because she has to. She's cooking because she wants to. Right.
She chooses to.
Yeah. She's not like, getting the kids ready for school because she has to. She wants to. See, there's two types of women, I feel like. There's a woman that forces herself to actually be feminine, where she's doing the cleaning, she's doing the cooking, she's doing the parenting. And obviously both of us do parenting, right? But it's like, but she's forcing herself, meaning what? She doesn't take joy in it.
Yeah, she's not happy.
She's not happy. She's like, feels like she's wasting her time.
It's like a job for her.
Exactly. Versus the actual feminine woman appreciates that opportunity to stay at home. Yeah, exactly. And I had a conversation with my mom about this because she's like, well, today's different, Brian. It's 2024. All women have careers. All women want to work. And nowadays, everything's so expensive that you have to have a job as a woman because you need two incomes, she said, right? And I said, yes, to an extent. But if you have a man that's willing to go and get after it and willing to provide whatever needs to be provided, then you can make it happen. And you don't have to be rich to enjoy this type of lifestyle because at the end of the day, back then in the 1920s and 30s, these guys weren't rich. They had enough to have a roof over their heads. They'd go out and work, have a roof over their heads, provide enough to have food, but the woman would create that home environment, right? And it wasn't about if you lived in a multi-million-dollar mansion. It was about, did you have a roof over your head, and did you have a home, not a house, but a home, somewhere you can come home and be happy. And I told her this, so, because her mom was a single mom. She got divorced from my dad, and she said, and I said, okay, well, I get it. It didn't work out for you, right? Because certain things with my dad, you guys didn't get along, and also whatever, according to you, he didn't provide enough, right? So now I want you to think about this, Mom. I said, what if you did have a man, Mom, that did meet your emotional needs and made enough money where you didn't have to worry about working? How would you have love to just literally focus on your kids every day and be able to be a mom and be able to be in your feminine energy at home? She's like, I would have loved that.
I make
the joke that
every woman would love that.
That's my joke.
If you could really present that to any woman, they would not say no to that.
Right.
And whoever says no to it, they're bullshitting.
No, they're not bullshitting. They're just they've been conditioned to think that they're worth more than that. They think it's belittling to be a stay-at-home mom.
They do. I've heard that a lot from women. Actually,
there's kind of a stigma to that now, where back then, kind of like what Victor was saying, it was something to look forward to. Like young girls would dream of getting married, becoming a mom, raising these kids, where now the vision is different. Like women are now thinking, I can't wait to be a CEO of this company and make X, which
it's cool.
Which is, I mean, if you take that by face value, I think it's great. But, I think, I heard Dr. Jordan Peterson talk about this, even someone like Ben Shapiro talk about women that go into their early 40s or mid 40s and they choose their career over a family, where they literally, Dr. Peterson has stated that, that's not he hopes that women don't do that, because literally, if we use, and of course we all have our different beliefs, but for me, women were biologically designed to make babies. That's like a woman's not only use. It's not what I'm saying, but I think a woman's main use is to give birth. Men can't do that. We have life in our balls, but it's the woman that will take that and give birth.
Women's specialness is the ability to create life.
Yeah, there's the mom is like you said, they're the nurturer. The dad isn't. We literally don't have that role. We're the provider. Of course, we're gonna have love and all that for our kids, but there's something about the mom, the love, the tenderness, even that connection that the mom has. Yeah, as soon as the baby's born, where that's designed for a woman. So I feel bad for the women that choose careers. I do agree with those perspectives from these doctors and, well-versed men that, they're just choosing the money, the career, the status. And it's that's great. No, good for you. Seriously, it's we're not taking away, but you missed out on the one thing that only you could really explain, that men we're never going to know what that's like.
And what I've came to find out is women that don't have kids, in my opinion that I've seen, are not happy towards the end. They're bitter, they're sour, and they regret that. Man, I wish I would have started a family.
Well, let's think about.
I wish I didn't take my career, this serious.
I mean, let's talk deep, right? Think about it. All of us, we're gonna be dead one day. All of us are gonna be dead one day.
Forever, bro.
For us to be
internally.
For us to be alive today, you had to have so many generations of people that mated and had successful relationships and sex to have babies, to have you here today, right? And so think about it. You one day go to a funeral, and I went to my grandpa's funeral last October. He passed away
on my birthday. You said, right?
Yeah, October 17th. Yeah,
it's crazy.
And it's just think about this. What did I see at his funeral? It wasn't. He had a pizza business, right? It wasn't the pizza business. It wasn't the money that he made or lost or whatever. It wasn't about his decisions. At the end, who's at the funeral is his children, his wife, and his grandchildren and his great-grandchildren. The family that you leave behind, right? And, it's people today are so scared. Oh, this is the hardest time in history. No, we had way harder times. There was times where if you were a Christian, you were getting killed. Today, that's still happening in other countries, right? You're getting killed. There was times where you wouldn't be able to make it to age 40 because of some disease, right? Now we have the highest as far as longevity, right? We have the most comfortable list. Like, dude, my dad grew up without cold water. He grew up without a refrigerator. He grew up without, a lot of things that we take for granted, right? He grew up without that. And it's like, literally, life was a lot harder. You had to literally wash your clothes by hands. Now you throw it in the washer and the dryer, and that's a lot of work to people nowadays, So we don't know how blessed we are that we think it's harder, but we just became a really soft society.
That's what it is.
I think to go back to your question, Victor, of like you asked Clifton, why do you think things are being shaped this way? And Clifton, when you refer to they as the people in power, I think to go even deeper into that, if we look at, the amount of genders that are increasing, the amount of all these names and pronouns and just the amount of people, it's all part of the master plan.
It's confusion.
Well, it's confusion for some, and for others, they would say it's clarity. But what I see is the acceptance of anything, where they're destroying the family, where they want to redefine family, where it's no longer man, woman, kids. Now it's man, kids. Now it's woman, kids. Or now it's trans woman, trans man, and
just a
fucking robot with Alexa in there. And then it's just, exactly, they're just redefining things. So when I think of it in that perspective, it makes sense that they have to do this, right? Because they have to destroy what's been built for so many years.
The fabric of society, family.
They have to destroy it to rebuild something new. And that's going to look completely different. That we're already seeing, right? We're already seeing 2 men lead a family, 2 women lead a family, or, like I said, 2 trans, whatever. And that's becoming the new norm. So I think that is the real agenda. I think that's where
it's being pushed. It's being pushed for sure.
I think that's where everything's heading to.
I look at it though, man, and I feel like in today's time we're more closer to war than ever before, like World War III. And I look at and I question myself, like, damn, what does our military look like in today's time? Like, are they strong enough to go to war or handle that? Or because there was like a video that was sent to me. It was like these people in the military that were just bullshitting and like doing like some homo shit. Where we're like, damn, that's the people that we're trusting to lead our country into if a war were to happen. Yeah,
you got military people doing like TikTok videos, dancing and stuff like that, versus like actually becoming excellent at what they do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Taking it serious.
No. It's a real concern. It's a real concern. I agree with you. It's and yeah, that's just one side of things, but it's a very important side because it's like if we go to war, like who are we sending, and then are we winning?
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, mind you, now we have more chemical weapons, and maybe we don't need to use humans as much with nuclear weapons and stuff, but
still concerning.
Yeah, regardless, at the end of the day, like people.
Well, I think the thing is about all this conversation that we're having right now, like it's too scary to talk about. Most people would rather ignore this stuff than talk about it. At least we're touching the subject today.
Yeah.
But it's like,
why do you feel people are scared though to talk about it?
Because people would rather be living in this world where they think everything's going to be okay. So they don't want to like look at, okay, like the writing's on the wall. Things are getting worse and worse. But we'd rather keep our head in the sand like an ostrich pretending everything's going to continue to be okay. Because it's easier. You don't have to do anything. You could just keep living your normal life. But if things are going to get worse, things are going to go down, or there's a destruction going on of society, then you have to start living your life differently. You start assessing your life differently. Like you, for example, for me, like I have 4 kids. I have to place them in a situation to avoid a lot of these problems that are going on. And it's just like, if you think everything's normal, it just takes no work. I just keep everything the way it is. The government's going to take care of us. They have our best interests in mind. Exactly.
Yeah, which is the biggest false.
Yeah, I mean, all the time I'm reading a lot of like books and articles about health from like scientists that are not like pharma based. More like natural doctors and doctors that actually do real research, not just like keep spitting out what they've been taught in medical school.
Like Dr. Sebi or what?
Yeah, Sebi, Antikoupelos, the one that's like the salt doctor, and he talks about basically doing the opposite of what the government tells you to do. For example, they used to say eating an egg was equivalent to smoking 2 cigarettes. Like that's how much bad an egg was for you.
Right.
I will agree with that.
on that note, man, I'm sorry to cut you off, but it just reminds me, and it's always stuck in my head. Dame Dash. It's a video he's doing like a podcast, and he says you don't trust corporate but you eat corporate food. And that stood out to me where I'm like, okay, like, what's he trying to say by this, right? And the way I interpret that is like, all right, we talk so much negatively about like corporate America, but corporate is the one that designs our food as well and puts the chemicals into our food. So his point about that was he was talking about how like meat is the number one cause for diabetes, but yet we still eat meat, right? And so thinking about that, there is like, I'm thinking about like how the government controls us by what we consume as well, right? Where we got to be very careful and mindful of what it is that we put into our bodies, you know, and that's something that I'm working on because it's, you know, to be truthful to everybody here, I just buy shit and I'll consume it, you know, but as I'm learning, like, okay, like I'm 28 today, you know, 30 is around the corner. Like I'm asking myself, how do I want to be when I'm 30 years old? Do I want to be healthy or do I want to be unhealthy, right? And that starts by the decisions I make today of what I'm watching, what I'm eating, and the benefits of this and that. Like, you know, Sprouts open down the street from my home now. I'm over here looking at the benefits of this and that. And I'm like, oh shit,
being more aware, conscious.
More aware. Like I wasn't aware before.
It's no longer a liquor store, drugstore, liquor store, drugstore.
Yeah.
As the Chappelle said. Well, I mean, two things. We can either talk about war, we can talk about government, or we can talk about this whole food thing. Like for example, with food, I don't know how much you guys keep up with politics and just world events, whatever. But I'm not sure if you're aware, but there's this whole bird flu thing going on with food. There's chickens being removed. What I'm reading, the conspiracy theory that I'm onto is that they want to get rid of our food. They want to get rid of cattle. They want to get rid of chicken, poultry, and that's all a big master plan to where they feed us chemical processed shit.
Yeah.
So where it's no longer right. It's getting so in other words, it's gonna get even worse. Mm-hmm. And you know, it's
they're making artificial meat now, like out of like 3D printing.
In Jamaica, I'm Gucci.
Well, but you have to go to Jamaica though to.
If I gotta go back, then I gotta.
Yeah, no. So that's some real shit, and
I think we talked about this as well when we talked about like the medicine being natural as well. How people go actually like back to their home countries to get healed when they're sick, because obviously medicine here, it's not gonna heal you.
No,
you know, in a sense, it's just gonna make you more addicted to rely on this drug here, but it's gonna mess up something else as well. Where there's more like natural remedies out there that could actually heal you.
Yeah. Well, I was just talking yesterday was Mother's Day, and I was at my mom's house, my grandma's house, and I saw my uncle, and I just came back from Honduras, and he was like, "So, how's your trip? You know, what'd you see?" And I was like, "Dude, I got to see my great grandpa who was 105." And we talked about how like we don't really see that here in the States that much. No. Yeah, he's 105 years old. And it's interesting how a poorer country, people are lasting longer. But if we break that down, it's because they eat more. Yeah, they might just be eating rice, beans, and chicken all day, but that shit is organic. It's fucking clean. They're not adding any, chemicals in it. While
no
we
GMOs,
have
no pesticides, all that.
Exactly. It's like my grandfather can literally go to his backyard, pick out his tomatoes. He sees the chicken flying, it's like the cows and shit. We were talking about cows earlier. But it's a poor country, yet it's richer when it comes to health. So it's just the irony that we have so much money, with so much wealth here. It's an abundance of fucking options of, I mean, look, we got alcohol and, there's just so much, but a lot of it isn't really good for us.
It makes me think too, like my girl was in Spain maybe like a month ago, and she talked about how she did not see like one fat person at all.
No way.
Like everybody was fit, everybody was good. And I guess just the way they eat out there is different, portion wise.
I believe that
obesity is only a problem in the U.S.
Yep,
that's facts.
It's a big problem.
A lot of fast food chains and all that. But what I wanted to ask you gentlemen here, obviously, Cliff, you're very fit. You hit the gym, all that stuff.
He's
skinny now. Yeah.
What do you guys feel about overindulging when it comes into food, and how does that affect a man's thought process and also
his masculinity?
All that, and also like their performance in bed. Obviously when you overindulge, you feel tired, you feel a little sluggish.
I lasted less when I was fat.
So what's your guys' thoughts on that?
Go ahead, bro.
You can start.
I'll start off. Yeah. So for me, I literally just lost like 46 pounds, right? So I could tell the difference, big
Probably
time.
the most freshest.
Do you feel like your thought process is clearer?
So here's the thing, right? So I've been really practicing fasting a lot, and I recommend that to everybody, guys. Learn about fasting. When I eat, like, okay, so what were we used to eating in America? How many meals a day?
3.
Right? Breakfast, lunch, dinner. They talk about 4 meals, 5 meals, even too, right?
Snack.
Breaking it up into smaller meals. Well, look, if we look at history, like 500 years ago, how many meals a day do you think people ate? Even 200 years ago.
That's a great question. I wouldn't know.
1 or 2.
1 or 2, right? The reason why breakfast is called breakfast is because you're supposed to be breaking your fast. And so breaking your fast means you haven't eaten for 12, 16, 18 hours. But nowadays we're not fasting for nothing. So you eat at 8 to 10 o'clock, that's your breakfast, or 8 to 11 o'clock, that's your breakfast. And then you have a lunch around between 12 and 2, which is only 3 hours in between. So you're not fasting. You're barely finishing processing the food you just ate, and you're putting more food into your body. Then you're going to have another dinner at 5, 6, or 7, 8, or 9, or 10 o'clock. Because nowadays we'd be eating dinner like at 10 o'clock. I was fat. I was eating dinner at 8, 9, 10. I did not care what time I ate. I would just listen to my body. I'm hungry. I'm going to eat right now. I don't care if it's midnight. And so what that does is your body's in a constant mode of eating and processing food and not relaxing. So therefore, you can never burn fat because your body's literally taking on calories throughout the whole day. So you're not giving even your stomach or digestive system a break where it can stop and just burn fat that you have built up, because what is fat actually is built up energy. So the minute you start missing meals, you start skipping. So what I started off initially was skipping breakfast, right? And why? Because I started doing a 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock eating schedule. So I would only eat at 12 or 1, and then I would eat, the latest was 6 p.m. Well, what that did is basically I wouldn't eat from 6 p.m. all the way till 12 o'clock the next day. That's about a 16 to 18 hour period that my body now, because I think it takes your body like 4 to 8 hours to get the food out of your system, right? So that gave my body a whole 16-hour window where it's like, okay, I don't have food in there. So guess what? In the morning when I wake up and I'm working out or I'm going to work, and from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock I'm not eating nothing, guess what your body actually gets to finally do? Burn fat. And you actually get to, and because of that, your mind gets a lot more clear, because guess what? We all spend energy. We have limited energy as human beings, right? So if your body is spending energy every single day processing food, guess what? That's energy that's taken from your brain that could be using for better mental clarity. And I realized once I started doing like 24 hours fast, 48-hour fast, 72-hour fast, my brain was like on a whole nother level where it's like, it felt like I was on Adderall. I've never taken it. I've never taken it, but it feels like your thoughts are just running so much quicker, and your energy's at a whole nother level.
On that note, man, and I'm gonna jump onto like it relates though to this, because a myth that I hear a lot, and I want to talk to the younger kids. If you listen to this, be wise about this. But growing up, I was told by males like, hey, bro, you want to perform better in bed, you have to jerk off more. Like shit like that. Yeah. This is real, right? Yeah. But what we don't understand is when we're jerking off and we're coming, all that shit, we're not thinking clearly because we're so tired, right? Yeah. It takes so much energy from us when we come as males. Like we lose all this energy where we're in our thought process, we're tired, right? And like after sex, you feel tired because you just
want to go to sleep.
Yeah. You literally just put a lot of energy to that, right? So I remember hearing that, like, oh man, like, you want to have better performance in sex, like that. You want to last longer, jerk off more. But it was like, but like when you do that, you're sluggish.
You lower your energy.
You lower your energy, right? So it kind of goes back to like, the body processing the food and, being able to think clearly, right? And I feel like that's something that's a myth out there where don't believe that myth there. I feel like the lesser you have sex, the more clear you're thinking.
Yeah, the Roman saying is that you give a man cheap entertainment and constant sex, you take away all his motivation.
Mm-hmm. The desire.
Yeah, the desire.
Question, and I want your thoughts on it, because for the record, fasting, food, all that shit, I've gained a lot of my knowledge from this young man over here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, seriously. I'll never forget a challenge we did at the old company where I was challenged by some fellow peers to lose weight. and then you were like, you grabbed me, you're like, yo, don't eat carbs, fast, kill them all. And then that's when it started, you sharing that knowledge. But before we get back into that, so what are your thoughts on post-nut clarity then? Is that also a myth?
Nah,
Or
is for sure.
Because correct, because like, am I following you correctly to say, Victor, that like, so because you're essentially saying then don't jack off as much, don't have sex as much.
I agree with the first part, not jacking off.
Okay.
I'm saying, but I don't agree with not having sex.
No,
I'm not
saying don't have sex, but don't overindulge into it.
Into the
Yeah,
sex.
there's a
Into
balance,
the
that's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to have a certain balance into it, not where you're putting all your energy into that, because the truth is that takes a lot of energy from us. You know, when a man, what's the correct term? I don't want to use the word come.
Ejaculates.
Release.
Ejaculates.
When
Nuts.
a man ejaculates, that takes so much energy, and you got to think about this. What do men do? What do? We produce, or we create life, right? The woman is the one that gives the life, but the man is the one that creates the life. So
We got the seed. Yeah.
we have the seed, bro. That's a lot of energy right there. We're like creating a person, right? So if you're continually doing this shit, it's like you're not thinking straight no more.
And if you're gonna continually do it, at least drink some salt water because you're losing
Right.
a lot of sodium every time you come.
Stay hydrated. Right. So that's my opinion, man, and it's real shit, because I had older people like that would tell me that, right, and then I had my pops that would tell me that's wrong. Don't do that.
So you be like wanking off like 10 times?
Nah.
Oh no.
Never. My dad was the one that would put me up on game where he would, and
Told
my
you
dad,
not
it was
to.
like my dad knew too. Like he would see me and be like, "Oh, you've been in your room all day,"
He's wanking off.
and then that's when my dad would pull me to the side. He'd be like, "Hey, look, it's actually not healthy for you to do that. It's actually going to create the opposite, because you're conditioning your brain. There's something here. I forgot what it's called.
Dopamine, serotonin.
It's your dopamine. Your dopamine. Yeah.
You're getting it off on not real. Like basically,
yeah.
here's the whole thing, right? The reason that
You want to race without running.
I've read
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You guys get what I'm
Sex
saying?
is supposed to be a prize that you earn for doing something. Like technically, going back to the femininity shit, right? The reason why this femininity is an issue too is because women give it up too easily nowadays, right? So give you an example, right? It's easy to get sex. Men don't have to do shit no more to get sex. You could just literally like meet someone and boom, you have sex without no effort. Versus back in the day, you actually had to do something like provide value to get sex. So guess what? And women wouldn't have sex until they got married. So guess what men would do? Oh shit, I want to have sex.
Mm-hmm.
What do I got to do? I got to get married.
I gotta put in
What do
work.
I got to do so I can get married? I got to put in work to provide. So you put in a lot of work
gotta show
to
her.
earn that prize of
Yeah.
having sex.
Right.
Nowadays, you don't
pussy
even have to
pockets.
need. You don't even need a woman nowadays. You just got your, website. You got
There's
your
this whole
phone.
VR
Flashlight.
shit. There's this whole VR shit as well.
Oh my
That's
god,
actually what it is, though. It's like
destruction of society.
yeah, like porn is very damaging for men because
Talk about it, bro.
on average, like let's be honest, like most men don't have access to like cheeks like that. I'm saying women have access to sex all day, but most men don't have access to it, and they're willing to I guess you can say solve that by seeking porn,
Paying
right?
the
And,
subscription for
like,
Bang Bros.
Yeah,
I remember it used to be free.
yeah, seeking porn because they can still get that feel.
Well,
good,
if you had LimeWire,
that
back
feel
in the
good
day.
hormone from it, right?
Yeah.
Bust a nut, post nut clarity. Afterwards, you're like, fuck, I can't believe I just wasted my time doing that. But still, you still were able to get that release and that burst of, you know what I'm saying, that hormone, which it feels good. You know what I'm saying?
So
So
Lil Wayne says in a song, he says, and soon as I come to my senses. That's what you just reminded me of right now.
Oh, okay.
You said that.
That makes sense.
Post nut clarity. Yeah.
So so you do believe it's a thing, but you do agree, like, hey, young men shouldn't be jacking off as much.
no, I don't believe.
So put your lotion away, put your tissues in there, leave them in the tissue box, save it.
I get it. We got to release, man, but you gotta work for the release, man. It'll feel way better later on working for the release rather than just using Pomela.
Yeah.
Get
And
that
I feel
going.
like this
Pomela?
this
Yeah,
this
'cause
damages.
you're teaching your brain to like
You're chasing the cheap high.
yeah. You're teaching your brain to
like
get
crack.
off on something that's not even like you didn't
Real.
work for it. Like you're gonna get that burst of hormones and you know what I'm saying within your brain and your body and stuff like that. But afterwards, you're gonna really understand. Like you're gonna come to reality. Like damn, that shit is not even worth it. You're not gonna really
It's empty.
get what you need from it. You know what I'm saying? And what you need from it is the work, a woman. You know what I'm saying? The actual
interaction,
the feeling, and you breathing hard and all this other stuff. So,
and I feel like this right here builds insecurity in young men. Like young men are just like, because they don't know how to interact with an actual woman, because all they're doing is just playing with themselves and chasing that cheap high, I guess we're gonna call it. Where when they see a woman, they're hesitant, they're insecure, they're like, how do I?
It's like a mental block.
Yeah, and that's what I see. Like I see these young kids, like just like head down and just like insecure, very quiet, and all that because they've lost the reality of actually like having to talk to a woman and have that interaction and put in that work.
And this is why masculine men is important, to be able to teach these young men
right
how to, walk and operate, and how to be around women. But the thing is, I feel like most of that is lost.
The odds are stacked against people nowadays.
Yeah, it's like lost because like being a masculine man is like frowned upon these days because women are obviously what's the term? Masculine. What is it called?
Energy.
Feminine.
No. It's toxic masculinity. This bullshit. It's like
that's the title that they're giving us.
Like being a man is toxic. Being being able to provide and take care and lead my family, that's toxic. I don't really understand that. It makes no sense to me.
That's facts.
So it's like they're already putting down, men or like men for being men. It's like, okay, well, what should I be then? For the younger crowd and the ones that don't have real men in their life to actually walk them down that path and teach them.
And if it's like if you don't know your role as a man or what you were born here to do, that will bring confusion to you. A woman telling you that, then you start questioning yourself. Like, damn, okay, well, I thought I was supposed to be a provider, but my girl's saying I'm in Spanish tóxico, or machista, excuse me. And it's kind of like it brings this confusion, and you start, falling into that role. Oh, what, my girl's right. I'm gonna listen to her counsel better, or let her lead the household, and next you know, it's disaster. It becomes disaster.
Because they really don't like lame feminine niggas. But they talk so much shit about the masculine ones. It's like, that's what you want though.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Facts.
That's really what you want. You're saying that, hey, I don't want it. But deep down inside, you know you want it because you're gonna gravitates towards the niggas that are masculine and niggas that are feminine. You're gonna be like, this dude is that, this dude is that. You know what's up.
On that,
you can't have both.
Yeah. On that note, is there a stat anywhere where with women who cheat, like their excuse of cheating? Because I feel like as I'm listening to you, I feel like that would be an excuse for women to cheat. Oh, well, I cheated on my man with this guy because he brought this masculine energy that my man didn't bring.
Well, women gonna cheat regardless, bro. Check this out. There's actually a study. There was two different studies.
Here we go. Hit me with some facts.
There's two different studies. One of them was done like way before, like early, like 2015 or early, or a little bit earlier than that. And then there was another one done in 2019. Right? It says that 70% of women, 70 fucking percent.
You sent
posted
this.
That to you guys.
Yeah, you sent
this.
They
have a backup fucking plan, and those backup plans is usually either an ex, right?
Which I agree,
or a friend that's basically been in
childhood,
the mix, right?
Childhood.
And these are exactly. These are the same women that's saying, "Oh well, women could have male friends." It's like, well, we are men ourselves, so we understand how men operate. I'm not saying there's every single man out there that will or wants that, but if you're a good-looking girl, 9 times out of 10, a nigga would clap if given the opportunity.
Right.
So we already understand how it operates in a man's world, right? Yeah. And the thing is, we already know how it operates in y'all world. Y'all want to deny it. Y'all can deny it all y'all want, but the statistics show it. You know what I'm saying? Why would there be a friend
right.
that could be potentially a mate in the mix?
Because you know what happens?
We're in a committed relationship. It makes no sense.
Yeah, that's a big no-no.
Majority of time,
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's a big no-no.
The majority of time is when things don't work out with you and Shorty. Yeah. And Shorty goes, oh, well, you know what? Cliff's always been there for me. Cliff's. And men
that's why there's that Mexican saying, the Sancho.
The Sancho.
Yeah, the emotional, supportive friend.
We understand like how to get into
the logic,
especially when they're at their most vulnerable point, when they literally left their dude that they've been with for 3, 4, 5 years. We already know what's good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not every man is gonna like be like, some snakes, but most
he
men
left
will.
you?
Yeah, you already know. They plotting, they're ready to go. We already know what's good.
Oh, no, I've seen
that.
for you.
Rubber
I've
on the
seen
shoulder,
that shit
rubber on the back, and then that hand start getting a little lower.
Look, as long
So
they say it's just your turn for now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you break up, guess what? Somebody else coming in the picture.
Right. And it's 90% of the time it's gonna be somebody that was in your circle.
Yeah. Somebody that knows you.
So next question: are you guys, on that note, are you guys okay with your girl having guy friends?
That's a big no for me. Like you have no business. You have no business dealing with another guy as a friend if you are a decent traditional woman. Like period. Like technically, yeah. The answer is like straight up no, because
obviously co-workers, one thing. You work there, like you can't control who you're gonna work with.
Yeah.
But a guy that you're texting, calling outside of that.
Nah, I seen a video on I think Instagram or TikTok where it was a guy. It was an old couple, right? And there was like they were like 7 years old, right? 7 years old couple.
Talk about they share phones.
Yeah, and they're like, this is a loyalty test. Let's trade friends. And then the husband's like, oh, who's Johnny? And then she's like, oh, it's just a friend. And then Johnny's over here clapping cheeks on a 7-year-old lady.
Dang.
And so imagine you're 75 years old or 80 years old. You've been with somebody for years, and they have that one guy friend that. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like, a man is gonna want to smash a girl,
right?
And if you don't have boundaries, if you don't have boundaries for yourself as a woman to say, you know what, I don't need that relationship because my man is more. And that's the whole thing with going to submissiveness as a woman. Like, if you have a man that's worth keeping, then you don't need other men in your life as far as friends.
I got another question, and I've never actually talked to I think any of you about this, but I think this is a pretty decent question. Is it fair to say that a man will only be friends with a girl
if there's a chance
because he wants to hit?
No,
okay,
no, because you could like. Let's be honest, like there's fat girls out there that we probably wouldn't touch, but like they're cool, they're friends, but we're still not talking to them on the daily, texting and stuff like that. Let's be real. Like whether they're fat or skinny or beautiful, like we're not just texting you know what I'm saying, friends like, hey, how's it going? Let's be real with it.
You ain't got time to waste like that.
And I think
I guess so, like, okay, you'll be chill where like again, they're in the office, you'll joke around, you have a good time. No, yeah, right. But like you wouldn't go out with
that's different.
A fatty.
I think it goes back to what Brian said, boundaries.
Yeah, boundaries is for sure, and then you got to lay your boundaries out as a man, and also like stand strong on it, right? So if a shorty tell me like, and we're in a committed relationship, which I haven't been one in a while, if she tells me that, I'm gonna let her know straight up, hey, you know what? I'm not trying to kill your friendships, but if you plan on being with me and we plan on being in a committed relationship, and we got this thing called loyalty and respect, you're gonna have to cut that out. And if you don't want to cut that out, I respect that, but I'm on my way.
That was my next question: is if the shorty says, what if shorty hits you with like, oh, Victor, I think that's insecure of you. Like, I'm loyal to you. I love you. I've known him longer than you.
All right. So on that note, let's talk about it, bro. And maybe you guys could give me some advice. I'm in a 3-month relationship, just started, and I am in a situation like that, but it's not in a bad situation. I'm gonna talk about it, right? So I've met this person. He's actually referred me clients for insurance as well. Okay. He's a funny guy, right? Like he has charisma. All that shit.
Funny.
Well, that's the thing, right? And I'm the reason why I'm bringing this up because number one, there's no insecurity in my mind, right?
I know that.
So
hold on, let me finish.
And listen. So I understand that my girl and this guy have been knowing each other since freaking middle school, right? But it was something that I brought to my girl's attention right away. And it wasn't on no hating shit or nothing like that. But it's like, look, babe, I'm trusting you. My trust is in you, obviously. But I kept it 100 with my girl. I'm like, as a man, if you give him the opportunity, you're going to tell me he's not going to want to hit or he's not going to hit? Like, you and I are both going to be fooling each other if you say no.
Did you ask her that question?
I asked her straight up. Okay. I asked her straight up.
What did she
say?
The answer was no, but she said
he would not. Okay.
Is he gay?
No, he's not gay.
You know what?
Hold on. Let me rewind.
It's a way in.
Real shit.
Let me rewind. I don't think my girl answered me, to be honest with you. I think she stood quiet. I think her response was, I understand where you're coming from, and I see your point. I'm not saying it's not valid. It is valid. Now that I'm remembering correctly, I don't want to say she did say no and throw words in her mouth. But she said, I understand where you're coming from. I'll make sure to set some boundaries, shit like that, right? But obviously they still hear, like, I think the other day they hung out, but it was more with other people as well, like some other people, whatever, right? But that's where I'm at right now in my relationship.
So,
Well, I appreciate you being transparent.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys could assist me on how to approach this situation, right? Not saying it's a bad thing or I'm insecure that I'm afraid that this dude's gonna smash, but it's just I just understand the logic of men.
Yeah, it's not about you being afraid, bro. Like, you laying out your boundaries, and that there's nothing wrong with that. And women like to deflect a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when a man lays out their boundaries, they're quick to say, "Oh, you're insecure, you're this, you're that." It's like, no.
And
I'm letting you know what my boundaries are, just like you would let me know what your boundaries are, and I have to respect it.
Right, because the moment what I want to say, in defense to my woman, she's never attacked me or said, "Hey, you're being insecure, or you're this or that." None of that. But the moment we switched it. And I've done this before. Where it's like, all right, cool. Well, if I was hanging out with the shorty by myself and I say she's just a friend, how would you feel about it? Women don't like that.
Of course,
women would never like that. So then, how do you expect us? Now I'm speaking in general, right? How do you expect us men to be comfortable with that? Well, if you're not even comfortable with it, me having a homegirl,
bro, because she knows that women would do shit like that. And she knows how women are, right? Mm-hmm. Just like we know how niggas are. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you can't understand, remember, if they were in business and then they were making money together and they had to, like, communicate and shit like that, and I came in the picture like that, I could understand it to a certain extent. I still wouldn't want these motherfuckers to be hanging out like solo type vibes, right? However, that's not the case. Yeah, he might have been your friend since grade school, but what value is he bringing other than, hey, how's it going, buddy? We knew each other for fucking 15 years. Mm-hmm. I'm your nigga now. I'm the nigga that's leading. It's either you gonna rock with me or you're not gonna rock with me, and I'm okay if you don't. But just best believe that's not something I'm cool with.
You gotta set the boundary firm, because if you don't, she's gonna keep doing that, and you're always gonna feel like, damn. So to her, even though it's probably not like this, right? But to her, that friendship is more important than your relationship.
Facts.
So if a woman is really down for you, she will do whatever is in your boundaries and in your favor for your relationship over the past.
Gotcha. Which I think she will be willing to do, but I haven't pushed it to that extent where I said, "Hey, cut this fool off."
Waiting, bro. You gotta literally lay it out. And I'm not telling you like she has to fucking decide right then and there, right? But you got to lay it out so she can understand exactly where you're coming from and exactly how you feel about that thing. You know what I'm saying? And if you feel strongly about that, you got to let it be known, big dog. You know what I'm saying? And if she agrees upon it and she says, okay, yeah, you know what? I can rock with you. You're right. Boom, boom, boom. This makes sense. And I don't want to hear none of that. Oh, well, you know what? Because we've been friends. I don't want to hurt his feelings. Man, fuck his feelings. His feelings matter more than mine. We together. You know what I'm saying? We're committed. This is a partnership.
Right.
We're supposed to be building together and potentially doing more than that later on. Like, nigga, if we fucking break up, that nigga's still gonna be there if he's your friend, right? So you can fucking holler at him after that. But until then, if we rocking, nigga, it's me and you.
I mean, think about it this way. There's people that cut off their parents for a relationship.
Come on, big dog.
So you can't cut off a fucking dude. You feel me? And that's the thing.
And
that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah. What do you need a guy friend for? What do you need a guy friend for?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. So, like, obviously, me and you are in the same boat, right? We got into the relationship on the same day.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
February 12th.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah,
February 12th. Yeah.
Same girl.
Twins.
No, different girls.
I'm the best friend.
Just kidding.
But here's the thing. So I got out of a long-term relationship, a while back, and I learned through therapy, like, you have to set your boundaries up front, because if you don't, think about it. What do we need borders for? So things don't get crossed.
Right.
If you don't set a strong boundary and it gets crossed, and you didn't set it, and then you didn't set it, it's on you, because at the end of the day, they're gonna be like, well, you never told me that this, and that. So what I've done in this new relationship is, like, I've set every single boundary up front. Like, I literally made a list of, like, every single boundary I wanted to have, because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna.
He sends an email with a PDF attachment.
Nah,
sign right here.
Nah, but I have a thing, because guess what? At the end of the day, if you don't discuss it, right, and you don't confront it up front, then later on, if you do bring it up front, later on it's not gonna be a problem. But if you don't set the boundary now, later on it's gonna be a problem. Be like, oh, and you're just letting shit go bigger and bigger and bigger.
And then next thing you know,
and then at the end, you have no boundaries, and you are no longer a masculine man. You're a feminine man that is getting controlled by a woman.
So one question for you, Victor, would be, does it bother you?
it doesn't bother me to that sense.
If he brought it up,
Victor,
it bothers him.
you. Just
Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Let him.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Let me take
Well,
it
no,
back.
he brought
We're
it
men
up.
that we love
I
you.
think maybe he brought it up because maybe he's trying to figure it out.
At
maybe
first,
it
I
does
was trying to
bother
figure it out.
him a little bit, but maybe not as much as maybe he wants it to. I don't know. I think you're trying to truly navigate it, right?
I'm trying to navigate it, but I'm also doing it in a sense where it's like, at first it was like I'm trying to let me figure this out where this is, and I had the conversation with, have you guys ever done anything before? Obviously, the answer was no, right?
Well, you don't even know,
right?
Technically, but obviously trust him.
Right. Yeah. This is where the trust comes in, and this is why trust is very important. Because now I'm trusting.
She
I'm
wouldn't
trusting.
say yes. Yeah. Even if she did, she wouldn't say yes. By the way.
Well,
right. That's that's facts.
Question for you.
But yes, to answer your question, yes.
Yes. What?
I trust.
Okay.
I'm
that was my
choosing
question.
to
Do you
trust
her?
based on her previous, actions. Where I'm like, okay, she has. I've never caught her in a lie, even before being in a relationship, right? So but to be honest, did it bug me a bit? Yeah, because of course, like if I'm choosing this woman to be my girl, like of course I'm gonna feel a little uncomfortable. Like what? Like why does this do it here?
I think what he said, bro, there was something very key there where it's like, all right, the question I would have for for your girl about this dude is, what is his value? That's the question, because it's kind of like, well, what is he bringing to the table that you? I mean,
need, that you need, basically.
Right? Okay, if you want to hang out with him for what? To talk to him about me, or I think that's where I think that's the major part. Is like, well, what value does he have, and do I not bring that to the table? That's where you have to figure that out. And
I'm playing. I'm just playing.
He's talking generally.
He's talking generally.
He's playing
Yeah, you
devil's
looked right at
advocate.
me when you said it, bro.
No, but he's talking generally. He's talking generally. Clifton.
Bro. I'm not.
Nah, but
let me put this hands up right here.
No, it's real shit. It's real shit.
And the reason why I bring this up is obviously not to expose you guys' age, but you guys are older than me. I'm new to this field as well. Like this is my first relationship in years, and I'm learning and I'm growing as well. And there's things that I feel like I could learn from you guys when it comes into this,
So to keep it short for me, bro, like as you progress in a relationship, the ultimate goal is marriage and all that. You will be the only man. So it's like it needs every other male needs to be cut off. Like the only acceptable male, in my opinion, is like the dad and brothers and cousins and family. But like outside of that, it's just me. And then can she have male friends? I mean, yes, in the sense of like once you're a couple, guess what? Hang out with other couples.
Gotcha.
There's a man there, a woman, but obviously, woman with a woman. So,
I mean, and here's the thing, like, if you have a man, what do you need a male friend for? Like, you cannot make girlfriends, and that's a red flag too. Because there's women that say, "Well, I don't like girls." That's a red flag.
I don't get along.
That's
with
a good
girls.
point. It's a good point. It's a good point. I only have male friends, or right? Because women, what's the number one thing women love to do is they love to talk.
Straight up.
So if they want to,
your insurance guy,
your therapist,
if they want to talk, like talk to your girls.
Chef.
They want to talk. I want to talk about my man to get another perspective.
Talk to this dick right here.
Talk to your. Okay, so babe.
So they ain't nothing else to talk about.
Nah.
I feel that, man, and you know what? That's something where I gotta definitely regroup and bring it up again. And
that's why it's good to talk to guy friends, bro, because guy friends give you perspective, and that's a big thing. All guys out there, don't get isolated with a woman. Don't get isolated. I've been there where you get isolated. And you go down this slippery slope of you just start accepting all kinds of bullshit. Yeah. Because you are trying to protect your relationship and you're not going outside of it to get advice.
Well, look, on that note, you got to get the right advice, with the right mindset of a group of friends. Because, if I would have...
That's put on you, though. When you said the right advice, that's on you to get the right advice because you need to know.
Advice.
Advice, yeah. That's what I said, right?
Oh, no.
You got to...
It sounded different. My bad. Yeah, and what I mean by this and what I was going to is that, if I were to bring this up to a previous group of friends... They would be laughing at me right now, like blah blah blah, and yeah, you look at their relationship and their relationship ain't shit. That's the facts. So you got to be self-aware of like,
who do you ask advice from?
Who are you asking advice from? how is this person's relationship? Has it progressed or has it?
Dude, does that person really care about you too?
And does that person? Yeah, because if you bring this up, and this is gonna be on YouTube, all this shit, right? I'm exposing all this, right? But if you bring this subject to a friend, and what their first reaction is to laugh at you and put you down, I'm gonna let you know right now that's not the people that you want to take advice from when it comes into this here.
I got a question for you, Vic.
Mm-hmm.
Did she watch your podcast?
She does, yeah.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have a talk after.
I'm gonna send her this episode. Be like, babe, you gotta watch episode 20.
But yeah, man, that's my little 2 cents on the mix, man. I'm gonna be honest, man. I love laying that shit out in the beginning, man, because once you agree to the shit, the fucking moment you break it, I got all the power in the world. Not to like be an ass or anything like that. I have the power, meaning like, okay, I can choose. You know what I'm saying, whether I want to do this or do that. And 9 times out of 10, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm a bounce.
Because you brought it up already.
Yeah, because it was an agreement. This is something that you said you could do.
You set the boundary.
And even I'm sure you'll agree with this, but even beyond you having power when something is broken, it's even better when the rules don't break, right?
Yes.
And everything's going smoothly. There's respect, right? There's an understanding of like, this is what she likes.
And that's why communication's a big deal.
Right, and that's the whole little thing we're talking about of setting a preface of like, this is the boundaries, these are the rules,
expectations.
right? Expectations. I think that is
have expectations. Well, you still have expectations once you make agreements and stuff like and have talks. But like, you can't have expectations without doing that. So yeah. So you're right.
I'll set in the boundary.
Very interesting. So men that are not setting these agreements. What do you think? You think that it's going to be too messy? It's like, is that an advice we would give? Like, yo, if you're a man, you're in a relationship right now, whatever, like, and you haven't set boundaries.
Set your boundaries.
Is it too late? Or what should they or should they not?
I read this book one time and it said this. It said,
what's the name of the book? Do you recall?
There's one that's called this other one. Oh yeah, The Way of the Superior Man.
Okay.
And it says that basically, if you're in a relationship and you have an issue with your woman, that something that's like bothering you, like either, whatever, she's like, smokes, or like she cusses, or she gets drunk, or she talks to dudes or something like if there's something about your woman that bothers you to the point where you can't get over it, don't expect her to change because it's too late. So you need to move on. And so I recommend that, if you're already in a relationship and there's something that your woman is doing you don't like, number one, communicate, bring it up. And she's either going to do 2 things. She's going to respect you and say, you know what, babe, I appreciate that you telling me this. I'm going to do that. Or she's going to disrespect you or gaslight you or say something like, you know what, you're being insecure, or you're being this, and that. They're not going to take accountability. Therefore, what does that mean is that your feelings don't matter to her. Your opinion doesn't matter to her. Therefore, you're already at a losing point in the relationship. So even though it's hard to do, right, but you might as well be on your way out.
You want to respect yourself.
Yeah.
It's not a feminine woman to me, and to be honest.
Correct.
In my opinion.
Right.
Because feminine women, they're really understanding.
Right.
And they'll do what is necessary.
They're considerate.
To help you feel better. You know what I'm saying? Because they want, this shit to work. Type vibes.
Yeah, and on that note, man, just kind of going back, like, my girl has brought that up where I think she gave me, I'm trying to remember the conversation when it happened. It was early in, before I made her my girl, but
you hadn't fasted.
I think she has told me that she's willing to do whatever it takes for this relationship to work.
Okay.
And that was an option, but I think I said no to that.
To keep him around type?
Yeah, I think I said, nah, you don't have to go that far of cutting him off completely.
Why though?
I don't know. I'm trying to.
Probably
I think I was just trying to be nice at that.
Trying to act like you're confident, like it doesn't bother you, basically.
Yeah, type of thing.
But being nice doesn't help you get over.
Right.
And it's okay.
And I'm learning from it right now, and that's where I'm at today, and I'm bringing it up.
And to be more specific, it is okay.
I want to get it from you guys, where I just want to make sure it's not just me in my mind. Like, am I doing the right thing or am I not?
And this is where shit hits the fan later, because stuff like this isn't addressed. You'll get into a fight. She'll turn to him because he's still there. We want to avoid that. So just know that it is okay for some things to bother you. Right. And you can still feel confident as a man and still be a man and in your masculine energy. Some shit is supposed to bother you, actually.
And going into boundaries, I want to talk about, because obviously we're trying to give advice here, right?
I was just going to ask, besides females, so I think it's clear none of us would like our partner to have male friends, and our speaking from else. Yeah. What else is like?
So what are boundaries like as far as like that you want to set as a guy, right?
Right.
And I'm talking as a guy that you got your head straight and you're trying to build towards like a marriage. You're trying to build towards something long term, right? Not just a little short term or your fuck buddy, anything like that, right? So so as far as expectations, right? Boundaries you need to set. I would say one is respect, right? Because men, we live off of respect, right? They've said a man would rather have a woman that respects him and loves him medium than a woman that loves him a lot but doesn't respect him, right? Thanks. Because respect is everything, right? So set those boundaries of we don't cuss at each other. We don't cuss towards each other. We don't get physical towards each other. We don't disrespect each other. And basically, like, we work together towards what we want, basically, right? Like, okay, if you're not okay with that, we're going to work with that, depending on what it is, obviously, right? That's number one. So, like, respect has to be there. Another thing I would say, number two, is, like, what is your goal as a couple? Like, where are you guys trying to go with this relationship, right? Are you trying to just figure it out? Or are you long term? Is she long term? What's her goal? What does she want out of this, right? Because you as a guy, maybe you want marriage, maybe the girl doesn't, right? Or maybe she wants marriage and you don't, right? So you got to set that. And other boundaries,
kids too.
Kids. Yeah, you got to have all these conversations up front because, like, kids especially, right? Like, maybe she don't want to and you want to, or vice versa. And if you don't talk about it up front, you're setting yourself up for failure. So it's important to talk about all those things. Another one, religion. Right? Religion. Like me, for example, I'm Christian. Praise the Lord Jesus. And it's just like, I wanted someone that was also spiritual, not someone that had to drag to church, right? Because we've all been there. I wanted someone that wants to be there with me at church, someone that wants to grow in the Lord. And thankfully, I've found that, something that I don't have to like push towards it, and that's a beautiful thing because we're all adults, guys. Does anybody here want to force somebody to do something?
Nope.
Does anybody want to drag an anchor across the ocean floor to get them to do what you want? Like, no way, right? So spirituality. And then another thing, too, is like even things like social media, especially in today's world. Right? Like, how do you want your woman to present herself on social media? Is she showing off her personals, like her butt, her ass, or her? That's already disrespectful. Is she showing off her goods to the whole world? Mm-hmm. Where at that point it's like, well, what's the value of she being your girl if she's everybody's girl on social media? You feel me? And you got to talk about that.
I think that's the first form of disrespect towards a man. If you're in a relationship,
correct? Because it's like, okay, yeah, maybe you were single and you had some stuff on your page, but now you're not single. Mm-hmm. So it's like, all right, cool, take it down. And if she has a problem taking it down, she cares more about those likes. She cares more about those random people DMing or basically what's the word? Affirming her looks over your relationship. And that's how you know there's no fence for a relationship. There's no foundation. So it's got to be like a girl that puts the relationship first over everything else. Same thing as a guy too. Like, you got to put your relationship first if that's what you're looking for.
That's what about you, G? So respect. We've touched respect. No male friends. Religion.
I'm gonna say I agree with him fully, but I'm fairly a simple man. You know what I'm saying? I like my peace, and respect is very big for me, and especially if we're gonna be in a committed relationship, whether we're in a committed relationship or not, respect has to be there. Like, if you just coming around just to come around, you still gotta respect me, or you ain't coming around. Now, if we're in a committed relationship, respect is like the number one thing for me. The next thing is loyalty. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're loyal to me, that means you're going to honor me. You want my best interest and so on and so forth. And that's going to be the same thing vice versa, right? So with that respect and with that loyalty, like, that's really the main thing for me because that's going to build around that peace that I desire. Obviously, a woman that's, that's going to follow me, especially follow me to God and all these other things, that's all of those are pluses and those can be worked on. Because we understand that not everyone is just going to come in, you know what I'm saying?
Be perfect.
It's going to be perfect and is already like into God. It's like, well, that's my job to lead her to it, right? That's my job to be able to provide that type of value. So because
and that's the thing, like, she doesn't have to be following your religion, but she could be open-minded.
As long as that's what I'm saying. Like, as long as she's receptive to my program, and I know a lot of you guys that's going to watch this, you don't like the word program. It's like, I'm not trying to control her or anything like that, but it's just based on the way I operate. As long as she's willing to be in Clifton's world, you know what I'm saying, and walk down Clifton's path. Obviously, as long as it's a prosperous and righteous path, then let's do it. But it has to come with respect and loyalty first.
So you'll be leading her to the land of milk and honey. Safe to say. like that.
Nah, and I think you said the word peaceful, and if a girl is not bringing you that, then that's the first sign of this ain't gonna be a relationship or anything like that. I read once that if you can find a woman that's gonna make your life more easier rather than harder, that's gonna be the woman for you.
It's a big deal.
And I'll elaborate on that. Look, man, as we're all business people, we're up and down. You know, time is very limited. But if a woman can understand your time and adjust to your timing and all that stuff and make this work, it's a great relationship, right? But the moment it's like, oh, well, you're always here, you're there, and she's throwing it at your face, that's what I mean by she's making your life harder rather than easier, right? Because now it's like, fuck, I can't do this, I can't do that because my girl's bitching. My girl wants me to be here, or it's already not healthy for you.
It's not. There's insecurity, basically.
It's insecurity. It's not healthy. But if you get yourself a woman that's gonna make your life easier, and what I mean by easier, it's gonna be like, hey, you know what, babe? I know you had a long day. I made you dinner tonight. You know, I want you to be good for tomorrow. Like, I love that shit.
I can talk about this for sure because I've been experiencing that, man. Like, you know, I have 4 kids.
I've been experiencing it. That's like the whole, like, hey, babe, I made dinner tonight. Come through. Like, I love that shit. Like, I'm over there eating with a big ass smile. Like, hell yeah, I'm the man of the house.
That's what it is, man.
Yeah.
See, it's like I have 4 kids, right? And then it's like, and I have 2 businesses I'm running basically. And this is like, my time is, like you said, limited, right? And it's just like, and I told her up front, like, hey, you know, I am super duper busy. Like, this is probably not even the best time to be in a relationship with me. Like, right now is my grind time. Like, you're probably going to get a certain percentage of me, but at the end of the day, when I am with you, I'm going to give you my 100%, right? And, you know, I told her all these things that, you know, I have my kids every week, 1 week on, 1 week off, right? And it's like, when I'm with my kids, I'm not going to go on a date and leave my kids at home with the babysitter, you know, and like miss that time with them, right? Like, when it's time for my kids, it's with the kids, and when it's time for us, it's with us, you know. And you know, she was understanding. She was understanding of all that, and it's been beautiful because, like, whatever it is, as far as like if I'm busy with business, like she understands. If I'm busy with the kids, she understands. And now she's getting involved, and it's like it's coming together so beautifully. And what you said earlier is like
naturally too.
Us in business, our world is like so stressful, and it's like a war. The last thing you want to do is come home to another war. Right. You want to come home to freaking peace. And I've been experiencing that where like I'll come home, a massage.
Yeah.
Some food.
Yeah.
You know, just spending time together. And the thing too is like this, a lot of women are insecure nowadays where they're like, you know, they say, well, if I'm gonna be with a man, he better be taking me out to dinner every single night and spending $500 on me, $300 on me, because they feel insecure. They feel like that brings value to them. But at the end of the day, it's like, really, if you can't enjoy spending time alone with somebody, then that's not your person, you know. And it's just like, and we and her, like, we spend time alone, and it's like we enjoy just being together, the presence of each other.
And on that note, go for it.
Let me just jump on that.
I was gonna ask you a question.
You guys, you can ask me after. You guys might not agree with this, but I feel like that whole going out on dinners and spending all this money is extravagant.
I was just gonna touch on that.
I feel like
artificial, superficial.
It is, but I feel like women that desire that and want that so much, it's like they're competing with other women.
Right on the social media game, Look what he did. Because look, and this is the question. The question I was gonna ask y'all, and for women, and this is for all women as well, is: would you rather have a man that's gonna take you out to dinner and spend $500 per dinner so you could show off, post it, and get this fake hype of friends or like, oh, girl, you living it up? Or would you rather have a man that's going to build something for you in the future, that's going to provide for you, put you in a nice home, you know, all that stuff.
Lead you spiritually, lead you financially, take care of you.
Take you on real vacations, you know, where it's just you and them and just having a great time, you know, because I feel like we get confused on that shit. You know, it's like, oh, like, you know, spending $500 on dinner, nah, you're not gonna catch me doing that shit. You know, because I'm always thinking about 10 years from now, 5 years from now, well, what can we have? You know, buying a home. Like, that's already something that I've been instilling in my girl, and she's already been talking to me about it, about potentially buying a home in Mexico. Nice. You know, so that's where my mindset is, and it's like, okay, if I'm gonna be working hard, it has to be for something, not just for a fucking fancy dinner that ain't gonna matter 5 years from now.
Well, ideally,
who's gonna call you broke because of that, though?
Ideally, you could do
No,
both
fucked
though.
up.
Like
You can.
You can do both. See, for me, that whole dinner stuff. I'm not saying I'll never do that stuff.
I was gonna ask you, what's the most you're willing to spend on a girl on a date?
So a date, like a shorty that's just not like my shorty.
right there.
Is that what you mean?
Sure. That and then your shorty.
A shorty that's not my shorty, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm probably not gonna spend no money on her. We're probably gonna split the fucking bill because we're two individuals trying to get to know each other. I'm gonna keep it a buck because like I don't know you, you don't know me. I'm not about to come out here and spend all this fucking money on you. That's not my. That's not.
I don't even know
vibe.
if I like you yet.
Not, exactly. That's not my fucking vibe. I'm not spending money on you so you can like me. I'm coming there so we can have an actual real good time
Conversation.
together. You know what I'm saying? And get to know each other. And if it's a vibe, then it's a vibe. I'm not saying I'll never spend any money on a shorty. Now, if we continue to go out and
So
it's
when-
a shorty that,
okay.
you know what I'm saying, I'm, you know, like fidaddling with for a minute, yeah, I'll throw a couple of bucks on her. Like, nothing too crazy. Because like usually we're just probably, I don't really go out to eat because I'd rather eat at home because I'm vegan anyway. So there's not that many like crazy vegan spots out there. So I like cooking at home. So if a shorty,
So you'd cook for a shorty though at home.
of course I can. I'll cook
Okay.
Have
for
her walk
sure.
in and be like,
So that's big. It's not
of course.
it's not you being so much like cheap, but you just prefer home cooking and you're willing
Yeah.
to cook
Yeah, yeah.
for a girl. Like, hey, listen,
Yeah.
I'll
for
make you
sure,
something.
100%.
Okay, I think that
I've done
means
it
a lot.
before. I've done it before, and you know what I'm saying, shorties love my cooking. But I feel like most of the times when I do go out, it's like you know, for drinks and stuff like that. And the maximum, if we're actually, the maximum is like $100 because it don't take that much for a shorty to get lit, and you're not about to go, you're not about to walk out here falling over and crashing into shit. So we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna party, and we're gonna take our ass home. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it simple and keep it peaceful and nice.
You know, yeah, I'm similar, but not on the same page. But I'll get into that too. So
well, to answer the question about money, I think the most I spend on a woman, and it's actually my shorty that I'm with today, is like $250.
So you talking about my shorty now? The most I've spent a lot on her, like a lot. Like if it was my shorty, this was back in the days though. Remember, it was a long time ago. I spent a lot on.
no,
her.
I mean you guys are talking about like 500 per
I
dinner.
spent
It's
like a G on.
Well, because
before.
there's men that do
But that was a
you
long
know?
time ago.
that's where I'm at.
And I
Like a G,
huh?
like a G.
No, like $400, $500.
Yeah, I've
a
spent,
G.
like-
No,
But it was like
a
like
G,
some crazy.
a
shit.
G. It's like a special occasion.
Exactly.
It's
That's
like
the
dinner
most.
plus.
Yeah,
like a,
Other
an
shit.
event type of shit,
Yeah,
like a concert
yeah.
or something.
But that was a long time.
But like I've been to these nice dinners with my shorty, and I see like a couple, or maybe they're even like on a first date, and you could tell there's no connection, and this person just probably paid like $300, $400 for like something that wasn't gonna continue.
yeah, a lot of guys out there, they feel like they have to flaunt and overspend, you know. And it's like for me, it's like dating. I'm not gonna spend $500 the first dinner, the second dinner. Like I'll probably spend regular 70 to 125 on the first couple dinners, you know. But you gotta first get to know that person. Like it starts, number one, it starts before you even go on a date. How's the communication like?
Facts.
And then number two, once you go on the date, how's that date like? Is she worth the second date? Are you worth the second date to her? Is there a connection? So it's more about that. And then yeah, once she becomes your shorty, then it's like, okay, you can go do something where you're investing. Let's just say in a weekend, you're doing a little getaway, drop $1,000 because you've already know this is someone that you get along with. They have substance. You have
more of a
a
vested
connection.
interest.
Yeah.
Right.
But in the beginning, yeah, you don't need to throw a lot of money to. If you have to throw money to impress somebody, then that means you don't have substance, you know. And if
That
you
means
have
you're
substance,
insecure.
Or on that note, what I was gonna touch on here, because I used to have a homie, man, and I think he's still the same. Nah. What you mean use the restroom, bro? Nah, I'm about to speak, bro. I'm about to drop a nugget right here, man.
drank too much water.
That's a lack of respect,
Bro,
dog.
I'm about to forget what I was about
Cross
to
the
say.
boundary. Oh, he lost the nugget.
Oh man,
We're gonna take a break.
we're gonna take a break. We're getting too deep.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
go
go
for. I'm gonna
ahead.
refill my drink.
Nah, I wanted to touch on really quickly what he said about
Who said Brian?
Yeah, he said something about like communication with a shorty and how like he wants to see how the communication is like before they go out.
Like
That's
a
actually
filtering process.
Yeah, that's actually pretty interesting because I'm a little different in that aspect, right? Because you rude, man.
He's texting the shorty. We need to talk.
Bro, after, bro. Let me finish.
Hold on, he about to spit some fire.
I wouldn't say it's fire. I wouldn't say it's fire.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's fire, but it is something that I wanted to touch on because of what he said about the whole communication thing with the shorty before they actually link up and so on and so forth. I'm a little bit different, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that texting stuff is not even like really like that authentically that person, right? I can't feel the energy. I can't see, the body language. I can't really vibe off of that, right? Yeah, you can vibe over it to a certain extent, right? And you can like flirt and whatever the case might be, but like for me, I would rather skip all that and just literally link up with the person and feel the energy in person. That's something that I that's real key for me.
What about phone calls? Do they do anything for you, like a FaceTime or a phone call?
Phone calls are cool. I'm not doing a FaceTime because you know what I'm saying. A phone call is like I can still do other things.
Look,
but a FaceTime, I got like I ain't got time for that.
Look,
right?
bro, I'm gonna be real with you. I'd rather meet the person in person because.
So you're on boat with him.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Because I want to see if that vibe is just an act or it's real.
That's what I'm saying. Like
I'm able to tell when I'm in person.
Of course, because you can feel energy, you can see body language.
Yeah, you see body language.
You can hear tone and all these different things, right? So that's something that I see a lot of value in when getting to know a shorty. I know if a shorty is interested, like truly interested, right? And I know if a shorty's just like, okay, I'm trying to fill it out, or let me see if this nigga give me a free meal. Exactly. And that's pretty easy to tell, you know what I'm saying, in my opinion, right? So I'm like, okay, shorty's actually vibing, and shorty already knew from the jump that we splitting this motherfucking bill. And the fact that she's still, and I can keep her entertained, she's keeping me entertained, this is some good vibes here, right? Obviously, there's more to it than that, but I'm talking about first impression, first encounter with a shorty.
Yeah.
So I'm actually more on Brian's side, where the filtering before the communication. You missed it, but he brought up your point about communication before actually meeting.
Yeah.
They're more on they'd rather skip the talking, the texting.
No, I mean, best believe we're gonna do that, but it's
sure. But your preference is to meet in person.
In person, engage with them.
Yeah. Whereas your side is more, you like to do a little bit of talking beforehand, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll give you guys a couple examples, right? Like,
sure.
I was talking to a couple girls, and like, just by texting, you can literally tell. Even by talking on the phone, eventually the shit comes out. Like if you get along with her, you're gonna find out just on that, and like a couple things. Like for example, like I was talking to this one girl that she just like was like blowing up my phone all the time, like texting me. Like I was like, hey, I'm gonna go to my grandpa's house, and she's like, okay, what time are you coming back? Whoa. I'm like, we're not even a couple, I was like, and then I'll be like, and then I was like, I'm coming back around this time. She's like,
send me a picture of you and your grandpa.
And she's like, hey, are you still at your grandpa's? It's like 10:30. I'm like, so you see, like, imagine you're wasting time going on a date with somebody.
So I'm
like
100% exactly, because to me it's about time more than money. It's like, right, because you may not fully grasp the person, right, through texting, phone calls, but yeah, there's a lot. You can feel the energy, the amount of text or the lack of text, the lack of interest, or their tone on the phone, like their sense of humor, like
right. If they have,
if they have one, or if
you can even go back and forth and have a connection.
Can we have a conversation?
Can we actually even talk?
Can we talk about things? Yeah.
And then of course, not even that. It's not like, for example, like if you get along on texting, then guess what's next? We're calling. And then what's next? FaceTime. And then it's like, now you're building up to like, fuck, I need to meet you because we're getting along so well. Right. And then when you meet, you're going to determine whether it's real or not real. Yeah.
What I was going to say before you went to the...
I don't use FaceTime a lot.
It's good.
I know he was giving me shit today because I FaceTimed him. He was like, why you FaceTiming me? I'm like,
because
I'm trying to show you the fucking memory cards.
We're not dating.
It's the right one. But Brian, what I was going to talk about before you went to the restroom there.
Before I disrespected the podcast.
Before you disrespected MarVic here.
Dog.
Spencer.
I got to set my boundaries. Hey, when you come to our podcast, make sure to use the restroom before. Filming is very important.
And we did a video before this, so.
I'm kidding. No, but what I was going to say is... because I remember like growing up, I used to have a homie, man, and rest in peace to his little brother Danny. But my boy Miguel, man, I love him to death. He's a funny guy, right? So he grew up more on the poor side, but he always wanted to flash, right? So I remember when he had a date with a girl, he would ask the homie like, "Hey, bro, let me borrow your Mercedes Benz. I got this girl I'm trying to take out, blah blah blah," right? So my question to Miguel was always like, what happens if this girl wants to go on a second date with you again? Are you gonna ask him to borrow the car again, or like, what's gonna happen?
What you thought?
And so he would actually pay the homie to borrow his car. Like, hey, bro, I'll give you $100. Just lend me the car.
That goes back to the whole thing of being insecure, not having anything to provide.
Right, exactly. So, and we were young at the time. Miguel was 2 years older than me, but he was probably like 17 at the time. But
I mean, I get it. If you don't even have a car, like when I was 16, 17, like, yeah, I drove my mom's car to a couple dates, you know?
Yeah. That's
normal.
There's nothing wrong
That's
with
normal.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's normal.
But I mean, if you're 30 years old borrowing somebody's car, then you got it wrong.
So that's what I want to talk about. Like when you go on a date with a shorty,
hey, baby, I'm gonna Uber you to the restaurant. And I'm gonna Uber you back. I got you. You don't even have to drive.
Yeah.
But a carpool Uber.
Yeah.
Cheaper.
So
Ex-Uber.
like if you gotta pretend to be someone that you're not going on this date with these shorties, then you gotta recheck yourself as well and reanalyze your priorities. Maybe you shouldn't be going on dates with girls like this. Number one.
No, you shouldn't be going on dates at all yet. You got to work on yourself.
Right. So, because I'm sure there's a lot of males that do that as well. Like, take a shorty out to a nice-ass restaurant, but then if the shorty wants to run it back, it's kind of like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Or you start your relationship or the relationship that you're trying to build, it starts on lies. And then shorty is going to start discovering you little by little. Like, okay, well, you said you lived in this city and you're at a home, and it's like you don't.
But is it a lie though? He did drive the Mercedes Benz. So I'm just saying.
But it was never his.
But was that the question that was asked?
But it's something. It's something that's gonna be brought to light. You know, like I would hear my boy, and he's about your height, Cliff. No disrespect, but he would be talking about like he could dunk and he got a scholarship with UCLA to play ball.
So yeah, capper.
Bro,
I have a question for you guys. What do you guys think of women that have
BBLs?
We could actually. I was gonna bring that up. Like, do you guys prefer natural women over women with work? But my question is gonna be, what do you think about women that have a requirement of like men having to make X amount of money? Like, it's got to be. For example, if he doesn't make 6 figures or more, I'm not dating him. What are your thoughts on women like that? Because there are a lot of women like that. I'd like all of your perspective.
Here's my perspective. I feel like you're living in a false reality. And because of that, you're always going to be chasing men who are never going to respect you as a woman. Because they're going to always hold the power towards you. And they're going to just wipe you.
No, it's not even that, bro. I can speak from experience on this topic, okay?
Go ahead.
I've been at a point making $20K a year in a relationship, $50K, $100K. I got up to $500K a year, you know, and it was never enough. So if a woman is like, oh, you need to make X amount, or I need this type of lifestyle to be happy, that woman's never going to be happy. Because guess what? She has an unfillable void. Because at the end of the day, shit is just shit. Money is just money. What's more important is when you can actually get along with that person, even if you're broke.
Right.
You can get along with that person living in a regular, normal house. Right? If you need a mansion to get along better with somebody, you don't need a mansion. You need to change the person you're dating or talking to. But
interesting.
I mean, you can't be a bum either. Right? You can't be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be stay at home. I'm going to be stay at home, not providing. I'm working my part-time job, honey. If you really love me, like, you got my back. No, like, you have to be a freaking man. A real man is a provider.
Right.
Whether you're making $75K, $100K. I think women don't even care how much you make. They care about your vision. Do you have a vision for your own future?
Right.
That's you're willing to put the work behind. If you have that, I feel like maybe you're right now, you're not making what you want to make. Eventually you will. And if you have a woman that's willing to like be with you through the lows and highs.
Yeah, if she's willing to ride with you.
Yeah.
I kind of don't really care. I kind of don't mind it because I kind of see it as like, the truth is we all have preferences, right? Some of us want, as males, we want our women to have bigger butts, bigger tits, bigger lips, whatever. Those are all preferences. Some women want their men to be 6 feet and taller. Some women want their men to make 6 figures or more.
6 feet, bro. Damn.
None of us fall.
But
there.
hear me out.
But so like, I think what I'll say is I don't have a problem with a woman because I get it, right? If we're talking about women being in their feminine energy, right, then let's just talk about it. Like, if we started off with, hey, we want women to be in their feminine energy, that means we got to provide.
You have to.
We have to. So you're right. We can't be bums. So I do like a woman with standards. And if we look at today's world, if we look at California, it's fucking expensive. I was just with Yareth. We were sharing memes of like how much money you need to make to buy a home here. It's like $158,000. So women want a home. Men want a home.
To be comfortable, it's like $250 right now.
Yeah. That's crazy. $250,000 to be comfortable. Like, just think about how far, not so much in the good we've come. So I think if the shorty can, if she has that preference, fine. But as long as, like you said, she's willing to rock with you, and maybe you're not there yet, but if you have that vision, and then she believes in you, it's like I think that's cool.
And that requires work, though.
And it requires work.
As a man, you got to put in the work every day.
There's a difference between a bum and a man that's working, right? And you mentioned that, like, you know, we're talking about feminine women and, you know, they have preferences and things like that and whatever the case might be, right? But, like, the average American don't make that much money.
Right.
Let's be honest. Like, the people that are making that much money, there's very few.
Well, that's really the 1%.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's very few. There's like 10 or 20% of people that's making over 100,000. So it's very few. So you can want it all you want. Like 9 times out of 10, you're probably not gonna get it. Let's be honest. And let's also look at this. We're talking about feminine women. How many women out there are actually feminine that actually can obtain that, right? Because not just men that make a ton of money are looking for feminine women. Men that also are making 100,000, 75,000, 50,000 also looking for feminine women. So the thing is, like, it's not that there's feminine women across the board and they're just like, hey, you know what, you guys need to do better as men. It's like there's non-feminine women, there's aggressive women, there's combative women, and they all looking for this unrealistic thing. But they don't understand that not that much men make that type of money. So it's like, yeah, you can want it and prefer that all you want, right? But the thing is, like, look at the reality of it, right?
Gotta be realistic sometimes.
You gotta be realistic, right? Just as like for example, you want a nigga that's 6 foot, you want a nigga that makes 500,000. It's hella unrealistic, right? You want a nigga that's dark, whatever. You keep adding on
your list.
It.
Yeah,
the list just keeps getting smaller and fucking smaller. So if you want that nigga, just best believe you're gonna share.
That's like
nigga.
trying to win the lottery ticket, basically.
Yeah, just best believe you're gonna share that nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's just real. That's real talk. You can't expect that man for you to take you on in his life, and you don't provide shit other than, hey, I need you to make 500,000. It's like, what value? And women don't like when we say this. Like, what value are you bringing to my life other than a lot of women? Well, I could cook. I can learn to cook. Well, fuck all that. I could fucking hire me a chef. I make $500,000 a year. Right. I could hire me. What else can you bring to my life? Are you gonna bring me fucking peace? You know what I'm saying?
Peace,
are you gonna bring me fucking peace, respect, and all these things that I require?
Kids.
You know what I'm saying? Children, all these things that I require. Yeah, you can require all you want, but are you gonna bring that to me?
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you can't have a high expectation without giving back equal. Not say it's equally, but in a certain type of value, right? Because exactly.
It is funny because women do get butthurt when it's
they get
what do you bring?
And here's the thing too.
Right.
Here's the thing too, right?
What else?
Men are the only gender. Men are the only gender that'll date down.
Facts.
You know,
men
like men don't care what a woman makes.
We don't care.
We don't care what she makes. I'd rather have her not work. Right? Like you stay home, I'll take care of you. Versus like we're competing. Like
I've seen memes of like, you know, homies going for shorties that work at Burger King,
McDonald's and shit. Yeah,
it's like you
that's
know.
facts though.
But there's something about like a woman also appreciating the hard work and coming from, you know, like small beginnings.
Gratitude. A woman having gratitude. Like grateful for the smallest thing.
Right.
See, I'll give advice for women right now. See, what does a high value man want? Let's talk about that for a second. He wants respect. A woman that's actually does not break her respect for him. She wants a woman that will appreciate the little things as much as the big things, right? And he wants a woman that will bring him peace, right? That you come home, there's no arguments. They're not bickering at you because you stayed an extra hour at the office or doing a podcast, you know. They're not bickering at you because you are grinding hard to provide this beautiful lifestyle right now. They're like, you know what? I understand what you're doing. Exactly. As a matter of fact, you're so tired, babe. Let me do this for you tonight. Let me do that for you tomorrow.
3,000.
Thank you for work. Yeah. Thank you for working so hard. Thank you for providing for the family.
You know what? Check this out. Watch this. Hey, you know what, babe? I know you're going to go to work tomorrow. I already ironed your clothes for you.
Boom.
They don't understand what that shit do for a nigga, bro.
Yeah, hey, no, it goes a long way.
They don't understand what feminine edgy do for a nigga, bro.
Right.
You can piss the fuck off, come home, angry as fucking, and a shorty just come with that God,
bro.
How would that feel, right?
Good. Bro, hey,
you know what?
Right.
Bro, you feel me?
Gives you life. Gives you life.
Hey, bro.
You know what? Oh, your shoelaces are a little dirty. Let me clean that for you. Like
it's the little things
down there.
I feel rejuvenated, nigga.
The other day I was at my girl's, man. She came with, and she was like, "Hey, here, I got you this. It's like little snacks, right? Because she's like, I know you get hungry at night. Bro. So what? Well, yo,
Hey, Vic,
Here's
get
some
back,
hot
bro.
Cheetos, Victor.
hey, look,
I
get hungry at night.
Victor, I know your love language is Takis. Here you go.
low key though, bro. When she gave me that, I was like, damn, like you thought about me, like damn, like that
Little
was nice.
things.
Just little things like that, like, hey, babe, I know you get home late. I know you're
Went from
hungry.
this to that.
Nah, bro, and I've never had that. I've never had that, so I'm experiencing
yeah,
that now, and I'm just like,
It's
damn,
nice.
like it's nice. It does feel good. Like you don't understand what it does to a man. Like it shows me, number one, you're thinking about me and you appreciate me. Like what I'm doing out here is not being taken for granted, and you're also making sure that I eat, because there's times that I don't fucking eat. I'm up and down. I'm doing this and that, and
Big starving.
it's like, yo, it's 10 p.m. I haven't fucking ate shit.
And look, let's be real. It's not in all women to do this. Most women, probably 70%, is not in them to do this.
Right.
You know, it's the women that are in it to do it. Just to give you guys, is it going?
Are the cameras?
Yeah, we're good.
the cameras-
The women that have it in them, from what I've been learning, is women that have seen that growing up. Because we're humans. We only do typically what we grow up seeing for the most part, right?
We know.
There's exceptions. But if you see it growing up, it's going to be natural to you. Like, you seen your mom take care of her man, you're going to be like, that's what a woman is supposed to do. If you seen your mom just working and not having a relationship that's stable, not having a man that's like there for her to take care of her, as a woman, you'll be like, well, shit, I got to be independent because I can't depend on no man. And guess what? You might run across the right man, but because you're the independent-minded girl, you're going to push that guy away.
Right.
So, yeah.
It's facts.
Damn, guys. It's
Get them Carfax.
10:37.
I hate when women. I'm gonna say this real quick. How do y'all feel about women saying that they're independent? I really don't like that term. I'm independent because it doesn't make sense to me. Because like, let's be honest. How many niggas you see running around here saying they're independent? We pay for our own shit. We take care of ourselves. Like, we not running around saying we're independent.
Right.
It's normal for you to be an adult and to take care of yourself. It's not
So,
that you're
see, look, if a
independent.
girl's
Get outta here.
independent, that's where
Corny.
those are the girls that you're like, okay, you're independent, we're going to split.
Well,
But see,
I feel
the
like
whole
there's
thing.
And see how they react to that.
a direct
Oh, he's
correlation
cheap.
between independence and feminism.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
almost synonymous. Where it's
Yeah.
like there's pride in me being alone by myself without a man. Like look at how much I can do without a man. Look
But
how
they
far.
all need a man.
But they all need a man.
and they all use men.
They're not
And-
willing.
and-
Like it's all based out of fear. They're not willing to take a leap of faith and leave their future in a man's hands. So they'd rather keep it in their own hands, which at the end of the day is sabotaging them from actually having that. You know.
And to their defense, there are men that act like pussies, so I can see that. I can see like, why put my hand in this dude who can't fucking be a man? I'd rather.
They're
So
in
I
the
get
wrong
that.
market.
And that's where God comes into play.
Well, I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
like, it's pretty simple. Like, biblically speaking, man was made first. God was like, I see that a man is alone. This is not good. Literally, his word. So he creates a woman. A woman is dependent on a man, actually. So it's a woman that says I'm independent. You are confused. Is like you're not. That's not how you were meant to live.
I agree. I feel like we're all dependent on men, and I'll just say this real quick. I think it's hear me out.
No
It's
diddy.
funny that women say like, "Oh yeah, I don't even need a man. I don't need this. I don't need that." But how do you think you're able to sit up in your office? You know what I'm saying, with the AC on? How do you think your car can work if, you know what I'm saying, it breaks down? How do you think, you know, these Boilermakers, these police officers, if you're in trouble, firefighters, they're 75% of
Like
them are
if you're
men.
getting
It's like,
attacked
you
by
need a
a
man.
if you're getting
Women
attacked by
need
somebody,
men.
who do you
The
want to?
world
If you
needs men.
yeah, if you're
men-
about to
men-
die, who do you want to show up?
I
A
need
woman or a
men, no
man?
homo.
It's
Yeah.
no, but it goes back to like even what he talked about military, right? If we
Yeah.
look at military now, we need men to go to war.
Yeah.
like if women go to war, like what? If our military is mostly women, like it's not.
I think about it as
We're not
if,
winning
if
a
you're
war.
a woman
And
you're,
a woman doesn't want to go to fight.
yeah, if you're a woman and you're at home at night and something goes bump in the night, the woman's not the one that wants to rush up and attack the attacker. That's a man's job.
Go
That's a
check.
man's
Did you
job.
hear that?
You know.
Right.
So-
they're nagging you.
Yeah.
I feel like, man, you independent. You gotta take care of this man.
You
got
this little
big
right.
dog.
You know where the Glock is. You know where the Glock is.
The strap's right there.
Yeah.
Go handle business.
Yeah, you know where the Glock's at.
Right.
Damn, that's bad.
Yeah. But nah, man, it's
too
I
many
think
here,
Neo
bro.
fucked it up. Didn't he have a song Miss Independent? That's why I like her. Neo.
Oh yeah, he
But
made that.
fuck Neo.
Yeah,
But let's
fuck
be
Neo.
honest, man.
I'm just playing Neo. Hey, you're good. You got good vocals.
he gonna
No
beat
did.
your ass.
I fuck with Neo. He's a good
The industry,
songwriter.
it's all propaganda. and
It is.
shit.
It is.
they know their
It's
market.
catering to that type
Yeah,
of
yeah,
woman,
exactly,
gain
exactly.
views and stuff.
And
So-
think about this part. If a woman focuses on a career, she accomplishes that by the time she's 30, she's already at the end of her rope as far as being able to have kids. So they just got brainwashed to skip their most childbearing years.
Yeah, literally,
basically.
biologically, there's a window for women to have kids.
Yeah. And yeah, there's exceptions. There's women having kids at 35, 40,
Latinas
42.
usually.
But those are rare, versus like the most common, healthiest age to have kids is younger.
And it's like me going to like different countries and stuff. It's very interesting to see that it is mostly America, I feel, that struggles with this whole shit. Because you go to like Latin countries. I'm not Mexican, but I'm sure Mexico's very traditional.
Yeah.
Honduras, it's like women know their place. Men know their place, and there's no confusion about the gender. There's no confusion about the role, and it's just fucking shit. It might be a poor country than America, but shit is actually running a little bit more smoothly on this side.
Relationships are more stable.
They're more stable. They last longer. People are happier. Kids have good examples.
I'm pulling up.
It's.
You getting that passport?
Passport, bro?
Oh yeah, you already know.
Yeah, you were made for that.
You gotta go. You gotta go back. Where are you trying to get one?
Thing.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Again, America's just
Probably Colombia or Honduras.
Confused.
You got some beautiful.
you know what America is, bro, and I've said it before. It's just America. It's a special place though because we have so much freedom that America, to me, honestly, the way I view America, it's like an experiment. This whole country is a fucking experiment. Some things are good, some things are bad, and we're constantly experimenting. Right? It's like we have so much freedom here: freedom of speech, freedom of this, freedom to bear arms. It's like, let's try this ideology. What if women now become men? What if now men can actually become women? Let's see how this is gonna work. And I think that
it's a failed experiment. It's already failed. Like we realize where it's led us. I
don't think it's failed yet. I think people are not seeing the full failure of it. But just the other, what freaks me out is this side, the side that we have real enemies. Call it China, call it Russia, whatever you want to call it, and they're waiting for the opportune time to take over. And it's like, it'd be something like now. It'd be like we're fucking confused. There's so much civil.
We're so vulnerable.
We're very vulnerable. Do we have a military anymore? Like I don't know.
I asked myself that.
It's just like this is it. This is the time to for them to bring all their men and weapons and take over because that's just where we're at. But I don't think it is over. I think with these upcoming elections we can turn some things around.
Right, man. And on that note, vote for Trump.
Yeah, pretty much where we're going.
Yeah,
we just shadow banned the whole podcast with that one.
Yeah, for lucky. I did that on purpose.
We're gonna get Trump here next episode.
But look, I think it's not until you travel as well and you start experiencing different countries and how cultures are shaped in different countries where you're able to understand and have that perspective. Like, okay, like as a man, I'm the provider, the woman is feminine. So if you haven't traveled outside the country, I encourage y'all to travel.
Cliff, where'd you want to go? Colombia?
Yeah, Colombia
or Honduras.
I like Honduras too. What's up?
Man, he's a smart guy.
He's gonna be like, I'm American.
Yeah.
No, he speaks Spanish.
A little bit.
Un poquito.
He's pulled a few.
No, but all he needs to do is say that, and
because I don't want that vibe.
Just say me gusta baleadas.
I want to be like, I want them to view me as a native. You know what I'm saying? Like a native.
Oh, one of their own?
Yeah, like
that's hard. You don't have to really.
You better start practicing that Spanish.
Yeah,
I got this, bro. Rosetta Stone, bro. Stop.
More than anything, the accent.
Man, I'm ready to cut this shit. I'm tired.
So he's tired. He controls it all here. So yeah, I mean 140 is good.
My man is a baby today.
You
trying to get your back rubbed?
You trying to go home? He trying to get some snacks at home. I feel it.
I'm trying to go eat, man.
It's his snack time already.
Snack time.
Yo, I only had 2 tacos all day.
Juice?
I'm hungry.
Yeah. Well, all right. Thank you everybody for watching, tuning in. We went an hour and 40. Boys, appreciate you guys coming on and sharing your perspective. And like and subscribe, comment. Let us know your thoughts.
Yeah. If you guys disagree with what we just said today, what we spoke about, let's hear your perspective.
Let's hear the comments. Let's hear the defense. The defenses, the rebuttals. Let's hear it all.
Yeah, we'd like to see different perspectives and learn from that.
Got one thing to say. No, it's fine. Go ahead.
No, do you?
No, I don't have anything. I was just joking.
Where can they find this podcast? Where can they find it?
You can find the podcast YouTube. We've got our Instagram page. We've got TikTok, MarVic Productions. Yeah, do us a big favor if you can, like the videos, comment, but if you can also subscribe and become a follower, that helps us out more than you know.
Definitely.
And just a quick plug in for my guys, Clifton. He's got his financial business, Ronin Financial, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Where can they find that at?
www.roninfinancialgrp.com. So we got you. Any equipment finance loans, any business loans. We do personal loans as well. So holla at your boy.
And he's got also a restaurant in Inglewood called
Gold Spoon, Jamaican cuisine. The best Jamaican food in Cali, hands down. If you don't like it, you can slap me in the face. Nah, I'm just
Is it vegan or you guys got meat at the restaurant?
No. It's meat. We got a couple of vegan
all.
options, but we got it all, man. It's authentic Jamaican
Gold
food.
Spoon Inglewood. You can just Google that. We got our boy Brian. Obviously, we know Selt Salt, right? We did a little taste earlier, and he's got he had the merch on, but he's got his stuff there.
Yeah, I got the.
Any special sales on right now? Or
MarVic
yeah, we're doing
Production,
we're doing the MarVic. So just type in MarVic 20, and you guys get 20% off any salt products.
There it is.
And also for those of you guys that know people with cancer that are going through chemo radiation, go to www.mediaidrx.com or on Instagram as well. Medication to help people with radiation and cancer not struggle with nausea, vomiting, and actually gain their appetite back versus losing it.
So, Prequim.
Yeah, Prequim.
You gonna ask me?
Yeah, sure. What do you?
All right. Anybody that's looking for life insurance, make sure to holler out us. Excellence Life Group. Also, anybody that wants to do content, holler at us at MarVic Productions. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok. Type in Excellence Life Group on Instagram. You'll find us. And MarVic Productions. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube as well.
Coming soon to the Apple and Spotify as well.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys.